everybody. How are we doing? Doing good? Alright. Just get some questions out of the way. Thank you. Boy, you sure played hard out there today. How did you integrate hardware into the production of your magazine? Well, sorry, question threw me off. Well, I used my school-issued Dell laptop in my production of my magazine. This was the only hardware that I used. I don't know the exact systems within it, but that's all I used for my production. Thank you. You distributed some dimes out there. How would your magazine be distributed as a real media text? Oh, I was expecting more questions about the game I put on today, but sure, I can answer that. It would be distributed as a normal magazine would. There wouldn't be many changes to it. You would see it in convenience stores and things like that. But I would want to specifically put it on the checkout lanes in places like Dick's Sporting Goods. Sporting Goods, places like that, people who indulge in sports go. You don't want to put it at a guitar shop because, while yes, it still may gain sales, the sales would be heightened by a place like Dick's Sporting Goods. People see it on their way out buying sporting equipment, and they see, this looks like a good magazine. I feel like I can learn about this. And Dick's Sporting Goods is just a pure example, is a whole sporting goods store. It's not just basketball. It's not just football. It portrays all of the sports, and that's exactly what our magazine targets. Your basketball skills have definitely improved throughout your time in the league. How did your creation skills develop and improve throughout the production of your magazine? Thank you for that. But once again, I was still expecting more questions about how I played out there. But just like my time in the league, my production skills got better over time. At first, I was using Adobe Photoshop, which I severely struggled with. It was not very user-friendly, and I had no teaching in it. The only teaching I had was a 12-minute YouTube video my teacher recommended, and the internet. But it was not user-friendly, it was very hard to use, and my first rough draft that I created with it was the purest form of a rough draft you've ever seen. It was rough. Then a classmate overheard me struggling with Adobe Photoshop and recommended Canva. Canva drastically improved my production skills, and not only sped along the process, but it just made the production better. My magazine came out better, it looked better, and it was much easier. And the more I used Canva, the better I got with it. So by my third draft of my magazine, it looked good, it looked like a real magazine, and it was ready to be put out. Some stars have used conventions set by other stars to succeed in the league. Do you feel that you used or challenged convention in the production of your magazine? Again, I was expecting more questions about the game I just put on, the really good game I just had, but I used conventions in the production of my magazine. I looked at vastly popular sports magazine Sports Illustrated and tried to follow what it did. It talks about all major sports, and I talked about 5 major sports in my magazine. Doing this not only widens the range of people who would buy it, it just makes it more enjoyable for people. In cases like Slam Magazine and Beckett Football, they only talk about their respective sports. Talking about multiple sports opens up the range of it. And following what Sports Illustrated did, using the conventions they put in place, will help boost sales of the magazine. Is anybody gonna ask a sports-related question? Anybody? Yes, go ahead. Now, you sure talk smack online before games. Being online is a very vital part of basketball today. Do you agree with that statement? Thank you. I do feel. Now, how did being online contribute to your production of your magazine? Yeah, being online helped. Being online helped. I was able to use features like Google to look up things about magazine, look up ways to improve my magazine, look at magazines like I previously mentioned, like Sports Illustrated, to use the conventions that they have used that have led to their success. I was able to use YouTube to look at tutorials for originally Adobe Photoshop and then moving over to Canva. Now, when you're out there playing, you sure engage with the crowd. How does your magazine engage with audiences? please, any questions about the game I just had. Please, like I said, 47 points at a playoff game. We asked the audience questions on our magazines. There'll be open-ended questions that you can respond to by sending it into our company. These could be questions like, who do you think is going to finish top of the NFC East? And then we take polls of what our viewers think, and then we discuss those polls. So it allows the audience to engage with the magazine. Now, some players around the league have been calling you soft, and that you wear that one ring of yours like it makes you better than everybody else. How did you use software in the production of your magazine? First of all, that was a hard-earned ring, and I deserve to wear it like that. But Canva is what I used. Adobe Photoshop was what I started with, which made my rough draft with, which was not good. And then I moved to Canva. Being able to use this software to create my magazine made it a lot easier. They have set magazine layouts that I was able to use, and it made my magazine production, the whole process, easier and better. You represent the different parts of your game out there: playmaking, shot creating, rebounding. How does your magazine represent social groups or issues? Well, the magazine isn't scared to talk about some political issues. Sometimes politics do come into sports, whether it's racism, sexism, anything of that sort. And it does affect the sports world, and it needs to be talked about. Now, they are touchy subjects, they are sore subjects, but the magazine will still talk about the issues and present them to the audience. Listen, I get it, I know, I made a magazine, but I just had an amazing game out there. Now, is there any questions that have to do with my game? Or am I gonna walk out of here? Does anybody have a question about my game? No? Nobody? Have a good night.